We shall now talk of the principles behind the social system of Varnashram. First, I'll tell you something about the fall of a living entity and his original spiritual nature, original Swabhava.
Okay.
Krishna has got loving propensities with his pleasure potency, Srimati Radharani. Similarly, because we are part and parcel of Krishna, we have also got loving propensity. So this is Swabhava. Krishna's name is Achyuta. He never falls down, but we are prone to fall down, to be under the material nature. Prakrute Kriyamanani. We are now under the influence of Prakriti. Prakrute Kriyamanani Gunakarmani Sarvasha. Prakriti composed of three qualities: goodness, passion, and ignorance. So we capture one of these qualities. That is the cause. Karanam Gunasangasya. Karanam Gunasanga. Gunasanga means associating with different quality. Gunasangasya Jivasya, of the living entity. That is the cause. One can ask, if living entity is as good as God, why one living entity has become dog and one living entity has become God, demigod, Brahma? The reason is Gunasangasya. Asya Jivasya Gunasanga, because he is associating with a particular guna, Sattva guna, Rajoguna, Tamoguna. Those who are captured by Sattva guna, they are intelligent. They have got knowledge, just like Brahman. And those who are captured by Rajogun, they are busy in material activities. And those who have captured Tamogun, they are lazy and sleepy. That's all. These are the symptoms. Tamogun means they are very lazy and sleepy. Rajogun means very active, but active like monkey. Just like monkey is very active, but they are all dangerous. You'll never see it active. Whenever it will sit down, it will make gut, some noise.
So you mean our original Swabhava is lost as we have come in the contact with the modes?
Yes, that is also called material Prakriti. While we were originally non-material or spiritual, means aprakrit. Guna means quality, modes. So prakrit means this material Prakriti and spiritual means aprakrut. So the prakrit guna, so long as we are in the material world, inflected by the material modes, Sattvagun, Rajogun, Tamogun, that is Prakruta life, not Aprakruta.
So as I understand, if we want to get back to our original Swabhava, spiritual nature, we need to get above the modes of material nature.
Precisely. It's all about getting back to our original Swabhava. But owing to the gunas, it gets covered. That's why we are talking about the gunas first.
I see. We have to go above the gunas, right?
Yes. But first we have to come to the mode of goodness. The material world is conducted by three modes: the mode of goodness, mode of passion, and mode of ignorance. So one has to come to the platform of mode of goodness. By training, it is possible. But there are two kinds of training processes. Just like if you want to go up, there are two vehicles or processes. Suppose you have to go 100 steps. You go step by step or take the process of lift. Within a second, you come up. So Bhakti Yoga process is like that. Bhakti Yoga process means if you take to this process, then immediately, very quickly, within a second, you come to the top floor. Otherwise, you have to go step by step, one step, two step. Although both the process leading to the target, to the topmost floor, the one is very slow and the other is very quick, immediate. Just like another example, if there is fog, you have got experience. Sometimes there is fog. You cannot see even a person 1 yard off from you. So There are many processes to take precautions in the fog, but somehow or other, if the sun is little strong, immediately the fog is over. So similarly, purify ourselves. One process is scheduled. Tapasa brahmacharyena, shamena cha, damena cha. Undergoing tapasya, severe austerities. Brahmacharyena means controlling sex indulgence or sex impulse. Brahmacharya means practically no sex life. Tapasa brahmacharyena shamena cha damena cha. By controlling the senses, by controlling the mind. Tyagena, by giving up charity. Another process means this Krishna consciousness. Shrunutam swakatah Krishna punya shravan kirtanah hrudayantah stho bhadrani vidunoti surhutsatam. Simply by this process, abhadreshu nashta prayeshu, all the dirty things within the heart being almost cleansed, you come to the stage of goodness. So simply by hearing about Krishna, you are promoted immediately to the platform of goodness. So what are the symptoms of goodness? Kama lobhaschaye. So to become Krishna conscious means immediately this is the test. Immediately he will become free from lust and greediness. Therefore, we advise our students voluntarily you become free from these things: illicit sex, intoxication, meat eating, and gambling. Because indulging in these four things, you will remain in darkness. So, voluntarily, you have to try to give up these bad habits. And at the same time, to maintain yourself on the platform, you have to chant 16 rounds. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. This is the process. Then the result will be these. Chet eter anavrittam. So therefore, by this process, Shrunata swakata Krishna, Purna Shravana Kirtana, Hrudayantosto hyabadrani vidunoti surutsatam, Nashtaprayeshu abhadreshu nityam bhagavata sevaya. This is the process. Nityam, daily or 24 hours. 24 hours. By studying Srimad Bhagavatam or associating with devotees, Bhagavata sevaya, bhakti, Bhagavatyuttama shloke bhaktir bhavati naishtiki. Then the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Bhagavatyuttama shloke bhaktir bhavati naishtiki, devotional service becomes strong and fixed up. When you are able to stop this pinching in your heart by these two modes of material nature, passion and greediness, tada cheta eter anavrittam sthitam sattve prasidati. Then you become joyful. This is the stage of joyfulness. Brahma bhuta prasannatma. So the next stage is Brahma Bhuta. So Brahma Bhuta stage means Nashauchati na Kankshati. Then you will be able to see everyone on spiritual platform. Pandita Samadarshina. Then you are learned. Samah Sarveshu Bhuteshu Mad Bhaktir Labhate Param. Then a real pure devotional service begins. Then we become completely fit to serve Krishna. Krishna accepts your service at that time. If we follow the rules and regulations given by spiritual master, Shastra, then gradually, but we should be very cautious that Maya may not attack us, because she is always ready to attack. Rajastamo bhava. Even in goodness also, Maya, there is Maya. Therefore, in the material world, even goodness is not pure. Yes. Therefore, there is another stage, which is called Shuddha Sattva. Goodness is Sattva, Sattva Guna. There is another stage, transcendental stage, which is called Shuddha Sattva. Sattvam Vishuddham Vasudeva Shabditam. This is called Vasudeva stage. And in Vasudeva stage, Vasudeva Krishna appears. You can see Krishna.
You can see Krishna?
Yes. These are the processes.
You can see Krishna at the Vasudeva stage?
Yes.
Interesting.
When you come to the pure stage of Sattva Guna, that is transcendental stage, spiritual life. Pure Sattva Guna means there is no more attack of the other two gunas. That is pure Shuddha Sattva. That is called Shuddha Sattva, pure goodness. In that stage, one can understand what is Krishna. So, Sattva Vishuddham Vasudeva Sarve. That stage is Vasudeva. Vasudeva means Vasudeva Krishna appears. That's why Krishna's father's name is Vasudeva.
I see. That is so encouraging.
Yes, you can see Krishna.
But Prabhuji, why are you stressing so much to come to the mode of goodness if we want to go to Shuddha Sattva, the pure mode of goodness?
One has to become Brahman. then he can understand the spiritual life.
Brahman.
Yes, Brahman. Vedic culture means everyone is given a chance to become first class Brahman. That is called Brahminical culture. Everybody is given. Because without becoming Brahman, nobody can understand what God is. Brahman, they are interested for spiritual advancement of life. Kshatriyas are not so much interested. Neither the Vaishyas. What to speak of the Shudras? And in the Kali Yuga, almost everyone is Shudra. So how they can be interested? Therefore, trainee should be given how to become Brahman. Then he will be interested. Otherwise, nobody is interested. So one must be a Brahman, a first class man.
But we are after love of God. Please tell me about that. What is the secret of learning to love God?
Secret of learning God?
Learning to love.
Yes, the secret that he must be a first class man. Otherwise, he does not understand what God is and what to speak of loving him.
But why become a Brahman?
Brahman means there is a chance of understanding Brahman. Brahma janati iti Brahmana. And this human life is meant for inquiring about Brahman, athato Brahma Jignasa. Remember?
Yes.
And Brahman means Sattvagun. That's why we are talking of Sattvagun.
Oh. Brahman means Sattvagun.
Yes,
But why stick to this Sattvagun principle? What is the problem with Tamogun and Rajogun?
because otherwise it will take very long time. So therefore the process is to bring from Tamogun to Rajogun and from Rajogun to Sattvagun and then surpass Sattvagun. This is spiritual platform. This is the way. So those who are trying to come to platform of spiritual realization, God realization, they must stick to the principle of Sattvagun. Otherwise, it will take very long time. Therefore, in Bhagavad Gita, you will find a statement, Bahunam janmanamante jnanvan mam prapadyate. After many births, when one is actually wise means in Sattvagun platform, then he surrenders to Krishna. Then the beginning of spiritual life is there. And he may finish this course of spiritual understanding even in this life simply by understanding Krishna. Janma karma divyam yo janati tattvata tyaktva deham punarjanmana iti mameti kaunteya. Everything is there described. Does it make sense to you?
Yes, Prabhuji, it makes sense. And I understand the importance of coming to the platform of Sattvagun. I never knew how important it is to come to Sattvagun. I mean, in other words, to become Brahman. As I understand, coming to Sattvagun and becoming a Brahman is not about classes. It's about understanding the spiritual truth, the spiritual knowledge.
Yes, exactly. A Brahman can understand. Others, it's difficult for them.
Prabhuji, you say that everyone must be given training to become Brahman, but some say that those who are not born in Brahman families, they are not Brahmins. What's the right version?
Oh, you're talking about Smartavidi. According to Smartavidi, unless one changes his body, he cannot purify. That impression is going on in India. That unless one is born in Hindu family or born in Brahman family, Kshatriya, he cannot be accepted as Brahman, Kshatriya, Vaishya, Shudra, like that. But according to Vedic literature, that is not sanctioned. To become a son of Brahman and to have the privilege of becoming a Brahman, that is certainly there is. Just like a boy born in medical man's family, so he has got a chance, a better chance to become a medical man. Similarly, a boy born in Brahman family, he has got a better chance to become a Brahman. Or a boy born in Kshatriya family or Vaishya family, he has got better chance. But that does not mean simply by taking birth in a Brahman family or Kshatriya family, one becomes Kshatriya or Brahman. No, he has to acquire the qualities that is stated in Bhagavad Gita. Chaturvarna maya srishtam guna karma vibhagasha. And the qualification of Brahman is also stated there. Satya, Shamo, Damo, Shaucham, Titiksha, Arjavam, Astikyam, Jnana Vijnana, Brahma, Karma, Swabhavajam. These are the characteristics of Brahman. Similarly, there are characteristics of Kshatriya, Vaishya and Shudra. We are discussing Bhagavad Gita. In the Bhagavad Gita at least, there is no such statement that a man becomes Brahman simply by born in Brahman family. Or a man becomes Shudra simply by born in a Shudra family. Guna Karma Vibhagasha. This is confirmed in Srimad Bhagavatam. In Srimad Bhagavatam, Sri Narada Muni instructs Maharaj Yudhishthir, Yasya Lakshmanam Proktam Pumso Varna Bhivyanjakam Yadanyatrapi drishyeta tatyenaiva vinirtishet. Narad Muni said that if the symptoms or characteristics of a certain status of social order is found in another family, for example, if a Kshudra boy is inclined to accept the Brahmanism or Vedic culture, he should be given the chance. That is accepted in the Pancharatrika Vidhi. Just like these boys, European and American boys and girls, they are, according to our Shastra, they are less than Shudras, or you can call them Chandalas, but they are being elevated to the status of Brahman qualities by this Krishna conscious process. It doesn't matter. Otherwise, for someone like a Shudra, even Diksha is not offered. Our Sanatan Goswami gives direction in Hari Bhakti Vilas that one man can become a Brahman by the regular process of Diksha. Diksha, the initiation, cannot be offered to Shudra.
Diksha cannot be offered to Shudra. Really?
Yes.
But Prabhuji, in this age, Kali Yuga, it is statement of the Shastras that in Kali Yuga most of the population are Shudras, Kalo Shudra Sambhava. How can they be initiated?
Yes, true. But the initiation is offered not according to Vedic rules, because it is very difficult to find out a qualified Brahman. Diksha is offered to qualified Brahman.
But in ISKCON, everyone gets Diksha. How is that?
True. Therefore, this Diksha is offered according to Pancharatrika Vidhi. That's what I'm saying. That is recommended in this age.
Interesting. I never knew that.
Yes. Srila Prabhupada's spiritual master inaugurated this Pancharatrika Vidhi, and we are following his footsteps as told by Srila Prabhupada. Anyone who is inclined to devote his life for Krishna, he should be accepted as Brahman. Of course, he should be trained up. Not that these boys and girls are being initiated all of a sudden. No. They are trained up for 6 months, 1 year, then they are offered Harinam. And when they are qualified actually in chanting Hare Krishna Mahamantra, at least 16 rounds daily, when we see 1 year at least that he is doing his duties, following the regulative principles, then
I understand that coming to Sattvagun or becoming Brahman is important and that everyone should be trained as Brahman. But how do we transcend to Shuddha Sattva and get perfection of life? How do we see Krishna face to face?
yes. So, how to make perfection of life? Siddhi. So, Manushyanam Sahastreshu Kaschit Yatat Siddhe. The Siddhi means one takes to Daivi Varanashram principle. The 4 orders, social order and spiritual order, these orders are made for Krishna realization. To understand Krishna, Vedescha Sarver Ahameva Vedyo. Those who want to understand Krishna, they come to the principle of Vedic system of Varanashram. That is the process of Siddhi. Therefore, Krishna says, Manushanam Sahastreshu means not ordinary men. Those who are situated in this Daivi Varanashram, qualified Brahman, Kshatriya, Vaishya, Shudra. So it doesn't matter in whatever guna or status of life we are. If all of us take to Krishna consciousness, then our life is successful. Mutual cooperation. So therefore, Krishna says, Manushyanam Sahastreshu Kaschit Yatati Siddhe. And Yatataamapi Siddhanam, those who are engaged in these 4 orders of Varana and Ashram, out of them, Yatataamapi Siddhanam, those who are actually in the position of Brahman, actually in the position of Kshatriya, Siddhanam, they are called Siddha. Actually, following the rules and regulations of Brahman, Kshatriya, Vaishya, Shudra, they are called Siddha. Kaschit Mami Veti Tattvata. To understand Krishna, we have to chant his holy name first, Adi. Then gradually Krishna's qualities, Krishna's form, Krishna's pastimes, Krishna's entourage, and everything will be revealed. Atau Sri Krishna Namadi. Namadi means his holy name, Hare Krishna. Atau Sri Krishna Namadi Nabhaved Grahayam Indri. Sevan Mukhe Hijivado Swayam Eva Spuratyado. If we take to this devotional service, then this chanting, this vibration of the holy name of Krishna, very simple method. If we accept this, and if they prosecute the routine work, gradually they will understand what is Krishna. And Yai Krishna Tattva Veti, Sai Guru Hai. One has to learn the science of Krishna, Bhagavad Gita as it is. Then he becomes a spiritual master. Therefore, one who has understood Krishna by this process of chanting Hare Krishna mantra, Swayam Eva Spuratyado, Krishna reveals to him, Tesham Satata Yuktanam Bhajatam Priti Purvakam Buddhiyogam Dadamitam. Krishna is situated in everyone's heart, As soon as one takes to Krishna consciousness, Krishna helps him. If he comes forward one step, Krishna comes forward 10 steps. Therefore, if we learn about Krishna being situated in the Daivi Varanashram or having acquired real qualities of Brahman, higher or transcendental qualities, Brahman qualities means Brahmajanati Brahmana. That is Nirakar, of course, but you have to transcend the position of Brahman and become Vaishnava. Then you will understand the Krishna's forms, Krishna's qualities, Krishna's pastimes. Saiva mukhe hijihvado swayameva spuratya. Premanjana churit bhakti vilochanena santah sadeva hridayeshu vilokayanti yam shama sundaram achinta guna sarupam govindam adi purusham tamaham bhajami. Krishna is Shama Sundar, but one who has advanced his love of Krishna, Premanjana churita bhakti, he can see Krishna every moment, everywhere. Anyone can elevate himself to that stage of seeing Krishna every moment by this Krishna consciousness moment. Therefore, Krishna says, Manushyanam sahasreshu kaschit yatati siddhahi yatatam api siddhanam kaschin mam vedya tattvata. So we have to understand Krishna tattvata in truth by this Krishna conscious moment. Therefore, Krishna says, Manushyanam sahasreshu means not ordinary men, those who are situated in Daivi Varanashram, qualified Brahman, Kshatriya, Vaishya, Shudra. So therefore, we are trying to establish Daivi Varanashram as is instructed by the Goswamis, by Hari Bhakti Vilas or by our spiritual master. May not be perfect, but we are trying our best to introduce this Daivi Varanashram. So this moment invites everyone because this is Krishna consciousness. Shrundah Swakata Krishna Punya Shravan Kirtana. If you please come and hear about Krishna, then Krishna becomes favorably disposed. That now this soul, this individual soul is now inclined to hear about me. So he gives facilities. What is that facility? The facility is that within our heart there are so many dirty things. Therefore we cannot understand Krishna. So Krishna helps in washing the dirty matter within our heart. Shrunata Swakta Krishna Punya Shravan Kirtana Hrudayantasto hi abhadrani. Abhadrani means especially this Rajogun and Tamogun, that is Abhadrani. And Sattvagun is Bhadrani. Therefore, those who are on the platform of Sattvagun, goodness, they are gentlemen. Before coming to the platform of Sattvagun, nobody can be gentleman. Gentleman means cool-headed, who can understand things as they are. He is called gentleman. So, this Abhadrani in this human society, because these Abhadrani, Rajagun and Tamagun has increased, practically we can see there is no gentleman. There is no gentleman. Because they cannot understand what life is, what is the value of life. Just like the animals cannot understand what is the value of life. Animals, they are generally in Tamagun and some animals in Rajagun. So the formula is, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu gives this formula that if you hear Hare Krishna mantra, then Cheto Darpanamarjanam, then Krishna will help you in washing the abominable things, Rajagun and Tamagun. The Rajagun and Tamagun, if it is washed, you become situated in Sattvagun. You are promoted. But if you are promoted directly to Krishna consciousness, then you transcend all these three qualities. Tamagun, Rajagun and Sattvagun. That is also stated by Krishna. Sagunan samatitani brahma bhuyaya kalpate. Who mam chayo vyabhicharena bhakti yogena sevate avyabhicharena. Not mixed quality, pure. These boys, European and American boys, people admire because they have been given immediately lift to the process of transcendental life. So, Sagunan Samati Tyaitan, they have been helped to jump over this transcendental platform. How? Vaidhi Bhakti, Avyabhicharani Bhakti, Avyabhicharani Bhakti. Vyabhicharani means someday I do something, someday I do not do that. That is called Vyabhicharini, not fixed up. But if you follow regularly the rules and regulations, Vaidhi Bhakti, to rise early in the morning, to offer Mangalarti, then read Granthas, chant Hare Krishna, then dress the deities, then again offer something. In this way, that there is a regular routine. That is called Vaidhi Bhakti. Vidhi means he must, he cannot neglect it. Just like your legislative assembly is called Vidhana Sabha. Vidhana Sabha means whatever is enacted there, you must follow. That is the state order. Similarly, there are rules and regulations which one must follow. Then Vaidhi Bhakti. As soon as he accepts these rules and regulations and offers Krishna service under that rules and regulations, immediately he is in the transcendental platform. Immediately. Sattvagun is good so far material consideration is there, but that is not perfect. Sattvagun means the quality of Brahman. Now the Brahmanical qualification is now fallen. They are not very strict following the Brahmanical principle. So there is chance of falling down. But if you keep yourself on the transcendental platform, aprakriti, that is beyond the material nature, then there is no fall down. Brahma bhuyaya kalpate.
Prabhuji, if a Vaishnava is on the transcendental platform, then why do we see some devotees slip or fall down?
Fall down is there if you are neglectful, but generally there is no fall down. Sagunan samati taitan Brahma bhuyaya kalpate. So you have to situate yourself in the Brahman platform. Brahman platform means pure, uncontaminated by the material qualities. That is called Brahman platform. Brahma Bhuta Prasannatma. There are many such statements.
But Prabhuji, why is Varnashram necessary at all in this?
Well, as stated in 18th chapter of Bhagavad Gita, Swakarmanatam Abhyarcha, one has to worship the Supreme Personality of Godhead by one's occupational duties. This necessitates accepting the principle of four Varnas and Ashramas.
Why should the Lord get satisfied by Varnashram?
Because Varnashram is his order, Prabhu, and our sole purpose is to obey his order. That's why. Everything has to be done according to the principle given in the scriptures, especially the occupational duties. This is explained in Bhagavad Gita. Chaturvarnamaya srushtam, guna karma vibhagashav. The four castes are created by the Supreme Personality of Godhead according to material modes of nature, and the particular duty is discharged in those modes. A person who is situated in the mode of goodness is certainly more intelligent than others. Therefore, he can practice Brahmanical activities, namely speaking the truth, controlling the senses, controlling the mind, remaining always clean, practicing tolerance, having full knowledge about one's self-identity, and understanding devotional service. In this way, if he engages himself in the loving service of the Lord as an actual Brahman, his aim to achieve the final interest of life is attained. Similarly, Kshatriya's duty are to give protection to the citizens, to give all his possessions in charity, to be strictly Vedic in the management of state affairs, and to be unafraid to fight whenever there is an attack by their enemies. In this way, a Kshatriya can satisfy the Supreme Personality of Godhead by his occupational duties. Similarly, a Vaishya can satisfy the Supreme Personality of Godhead by properly executing his occupational duties, engaging himself in producing foodstuffs, giving protection to the cows, and trading if necessary when there is access of agricultural production. Similarly, because the Shudras don't have ample intelligence, they should simply engage as workers to serve the higher status of life.
I now understand. The system of Varnashram is so good that it accommodates all people of all modes, and thus everyone can get the opportunity to satisfy God. But Prabhuji, the question may be raised that since the Lord is supposed to be worshipped by great demigods like Lord Brahma, Lord Shiva and others, how can an ordinary human being on this planet serve him?
This is clearly explained by Prithu Maharaj by use of the word yathadhikara, according to one's ability. If one sincerely executes his devotional service, that will be sufficient. One does not need to become like Lord Brahma, Lord Shiva, Indra, Lord Chaitanya or Ramanuja, whose capabilities are certainly far above ours.
Does that mean that anyone can be successful in devotional service?
Anyone can become successful in devotional service provided he displays no duplicity.
No duplicity.
Yes, no duplicity. It is explained here that one must be very frank and open-minded. Amayana, to be situated in a lower status of life, is not a disqualification for success in devotional service. The only qualification is that whether one is a Brahman, Kshatriya, Vaishya or a Shudra, he must be open, frank and free from reservations. Then, by performing his particular occupational duties under the guidance of proper spiritual master, he can achieve the highest success in spiritual life. As confirmed by the Lord himself, Striyo Vaishyastata Shudra Tepi Yantim Param Gatim. It does not matter what one is, whether a Brahman, Kshatriya, Vaishya, Shudra or a degraded woman. If one engages himself seriously in devotional service, working with body, mind, and intelligence, he is sure to be successful in going back home, back to Godhead.
Is it true that our advancement in devotional service is it influenced by a lot by our past karma? How many sinful activities we have committed? I mean, in the past.
No. Bhakti is not under karma. Bhakti is under your goodwill. If you accept to surrender to Krishna, you can do that without being checked by anything else. Simply you have to will. Yes, Krishna, you are asking me, so long I did not. From this day I do. That will depend upon you.
Not that if I was more sinful, I would make less advancement than somebody who is more pious. Is it not like that?
Whatever you may be, simply surrender and everything is finished. Aham tvam sarva papebhyo mokshayishyami. Even if you are sinful, Krishna will give you release. Alright. You have surrendered, that's alright. That is wanted. If you reserve something and cheat Krishna, now I am surrendering. Krishna is very intelligent. You have still reservation. No.
So it is clear to me that the body should be engaged in the service according to our status in Varnashram. But what about the mind and words?
Congratulations.
Oh, thank you, Prabhuji. Thank you so much. So kind of you. But may I ask what was it for?
Because you have asked a very, very good question.
Oh, anytime, Prabhuji. Please.
Don't be too much excited and listen.
Yes. I'm attentive. Please go on, Prabhuji.
Body, words, and mind all should be engaged in Krishna's satisfaction. Everyone's aim should be to satisfy the Supreme Personality of Godhead by engaging his mind in thinking always of Krishna, his words in always offering prayers to the Lord or preaching about the glories of the Lord, and his body in executing the service required to satisfy the Lord. And remember, as far as duties of body are concerned, in executing the prescribed duties of life, no one is higher or lower. There are such divisions as higher and lower, but since there is actually a common interest to satisfy the Supreme Personality of Godhead, there are no distinctions between them.
Yes, because there is common interest, so therefore nobody is higher and lower because everyone is trying to achieve that common interest according to his ability.
Yes.
What about the four processes like glorifying, hearing, remembering, and worshipping the Lord? Where do they fit?
If realization of absolute truth is the ultimate aim of life, it must be carried out by all means. In any one of the above mentioned castes and orders of life, the four processes, namely glorifying, hearing, remembering, and worshipping, are general occupations. Without these principles of life, no one can exist. Ashram means where there is Bhagavad Bhajan. It doesn't matter whether one is sannyasi or one is grihastha or brahmachari. The main principle is Bhagavad Bhajan. Therefore, this Daivi Varnashram system is an important principle. In fact, this is compulsory regulation for becoming human being. Without Varnashram institution, there is no recognition of human being. Without being trained up in Varnashram system, there is no question of becoming human being. So actually, it is not by birth as human being, but by culture. Janmana jayate shudra sanskarat bhavet dvija.
You mean those not in the Varnashram are not considered human beings? Why?
See, when the destiny of people are to be controlled, there must be very, very intelligent man. That is Vedic civilization. There is standard aims and objects on which people should be trained up. That is Varnashram Dharma. Vishnu Aradhanam, worshipping Vishnu, that is the ultimate aim. So, the whole society is divided into Brahman, Kshatriya, Vaishya, Shudra and Brahmachari, Grihastha, Vanapastra, Sannyas, departmental. And they are trained up. But the aim is Vishnu Aradhanam. But they have no idea at the present moment. Vishnu Aradhanam, he has no knowledge. But the civilization begins on this point. Human means he is meant for Vishnu Aradhanam. Otherwise, what is the difference between dogs and human beings?
I see.
Advancement of civilization means to understand Vishnu, how to please him, how to go back to him, go to the spiritual world. This is advancement of civilization. Yad gatva nanivartante daddamam paramam.
But you said that Varnashram is a slow method. Then how is it that you are now advocating Varnashram in the life process of bhakti?
Good question again. Listen to this carefully. As long as one is under the control of the material nature, his occupational duty is different from that of a person not under such control. One's real dharma or occupational duty is described in Srimad Bhagavatam. Dharmam tu sakshat bhagavat pranito. The real dharma is that which is advised in Bhagavad Gita. Sarva dharman parityajya mam ekam sharanam braja. One's real dharma or occupational duty is explained by Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Jivera sarupa hai krishnera nityadasa. Every living being is an eternal servant of Krishna. That is one's real occupational duty.
Prabhuji, I thought that the Swadharma or occupation duty never changes. And now you say that it does. Can you explain it more, please?
Sure. You see, Swa means own, Swadharma, one's own occupation. So according to Vedic civilization, everyone has his own Swadharma. Swadharma means occupational duty. Actually, Dharma means which you cannot give up. So because we have got body and soul, two different things, we are combination, body and soul. So actually, Swadharma means the occupational duty of the soul. But because in the material condition we do not understand what I am, whether I am body or I am soul. But so long one is in the bodily concept of life, so one has got different occupational duty according to the conception of body. So the nature is being conducted by the three modes of nature. Therefore, according to one's nature, there is occupational duty. That is scientific division. So Swadharma means the division. The Brahman division, the Kshatriya division, the Vaishya division and the Shudra division. Swadharma means so long one is in the bodily concept of life, this Swadharma means this Brahman, Kshatriya, Vaishya, Shudra. This is Swadharma. So, and real Swadharma is spiritual Swadharma. In the spiritual. So when you go deep into the matter, when you understand, I am not this body, I am soul, then that is real Swadharma. And what is the occupation of that Swadharma? That is to be engaged in service of the Lord. Jivera sarupa hai krishnera nityadas. Actually, that is Swadharma. Every soul is eternally servant of Krishna. That is spiritual Swadharma. And material Swadharma means this Brahman, Kshatriya, Vaishya, Shudra. Therefore, Swadharma changes. Swadharma changes as soon as one is elevated to the spiritual platform. That is explained in Bhagavad Gita. Sagunan samatityetan brahma bhuyaya kalpate. Who? Brahma bhuyaya kalpate. Who is engaged in devotional service.
Prabhuji, what should we follow?
So far we are concerned, Krishna conscious, so long our bodily concept of life is not completely eradicated, we must follow the Swadharma of the body. Brahman, Kshatriya, Vaishya, Shudra, Ityadi. But when actually advanced, that is Mahabhagavat. We should not imitate that, but our process is, the more we advance in Krishna consciousness, we become transcendental to this bodily concept of life, Brahman, Kshatriya, Vaishya, Shudra. But Krishna says, Manchayo vicharena bhakti yogena sevate sagunan samatityetan brahma bhuyaya kalpate. So anyone who engages himself without any reservations to the service of the Lord, he is not within the categories of these 8 varnashram dharma. He is transcendental. Sabrahma bhuyaya kalpate. So as a Krishna conscious person, he can act like anything by the order of Krishna. He can act as a Brahman, he can act as Shudra, because his main business is to carry out Krishna's order. He is no longer within the categories of this Swadharma. Remember Bhagavad Gita? Arjuna does not want to fight because he is thinking that it is sinful. And so Krishna is asking Arjuna that if you are thinking in the bodily concept of life, then also means, first of all, when I ordered, I have sanctioned that you can work it beyond the bodily concept of life. But if you are thinking that you are on the bodily concept of life, then as Kshatriya, it is your duty to fight. Krishna is trying to put Arjuna in a dilemma. This way or that way, you must have to fight. If you think you are not on the bodily concept of life, then it is my order, you must fight. If you think you are on the bodily concept of life, then you are a Kshatriya, you must fight. Both ways, you have to fight. That is Krishna's conclusion.
Hari Bol, Prabhuji, it is so beautiful to understand it. It makes so much sense, especially in the context of Bhagavad Gita.
Yes. I'm glad you understand it.
Sure, I do. And thank you for explaining.
Thank Prabhupada, I'm just repeating.
Yes, Jai Prabhupada, Jai Prabhupada.
Dancing. Now, since you have done with your dancing performance, shall we move ahead? Or do you have anything to ask?
Prabhuji, in the slow process, the candidate works according to Varnashram. And even in the fast bhakti process, the worker on the bodily platform works in Varnashram. Then what is the difference between the two?
Oh, you mean what is the difference between a karmi and a bhakta?
Yeah.
The karmi and a bhakta are both acting in varnashram. But there is a vast difference. Okay, let's take the same case of Arjun again. So here in the beginning, Arjun is thinking in the terms of his blunt senses. But the same thing he will do. Atyantikam, atendriyam, purified senses. Just try to understand. This is Krishna consciousness. Arjun is now thinking, Yad Rajya Sukha Lobhena. For the matter of getting kingdom and sense gratification, I am going to kill my kinsman. So it is great sin. That is a fact. If the warfare in the Kurukshetra battle was for Arjun's sense satisfaction, then it was great sin. But actually, it is not being done for Arjun's satisfaction. It is done for Krishna's satisfaction. So therefore, the conclusion should be that whatever we do, if we do it for our own sense satisfaction, that is Mahabhava, sinful activities. But if we do the same thing for Krishna's satisfaction, that is spiritual advancement. This is the difference. A karmi is working for his own satisfaction and a devotee is working for Krishna's satisfaction. Although the two things are similar, externally it appears the same, but there is a great difference. Whatever you do for your own satisfaction, for the satisfaction of your whims, that is Mahapapam, great sin. The same thing, when you do for Krishna, that is opening your path to liberation, back to home, back to Godhead. That is the difference. You have to change your consciousness. What you are doing, for whom you are doing, for yourself or for Krishna, that is Krishna consciousness. And that is the perfection of life. In whatever position you are, whatever you are doing, it does not matter. That is confirmed in Srimad Bhagavatam. Ato pumbir dvija shreshta varnashrama vibhagasam. Sonishtitasya dharmasya samsiddhir haritoshanam. Haritoshanam means to satisfy the Supreme Lord Hari. That is perfection. It does not matter what you are doing. Varnashram vibhagasam.
Oh, I understand now. Oh, whatever I do, I just do it for Krishna. That's it. Then it's...
No, not whatever. Only that which is prescribed to you as your duty according to your guna, varnashrama. Karma does not mean any karma. Karma means according to your position in varnashram. First of all, whatever doing, it does not mean whatever nonsense you are doing that will be accepted. No. Varnashram vibhagasho. According to Vedic civilization, there is division of varna. So activities must be done according to varnashram prescription. A Brahman is ordered to do like this. Satya, Shamo, Damo, Tidiksham, Arjam. He should practice this. A Kshatriya should practice this. And a Vaishya should practice this. So therefore it is called Varnashram. The prescribed duties are already there. And when they act the duties of that particular position, Brahman, Kshatriya, for satisfaction of Krishna, that is perfection of life. It doesn't matter whether you are Shudra or you are a Brahman, but if you act for the satisfaction of Krishna according to the prescription of your position, then your life is perfect. That is wanted. The whole human civilization should be based on this principle. There must be division. And they should be trained, everyone, to satisfy Krishna. Varnashrama vibhagasho swanishtutasya dharmasya samsiddhir haritoshanam. Did you get it?
Yes, Prabhuji, I did. Karma in the bodily concept means according to Varnashram and not any karma.
Yes, make this point clear. Otherwise, you will end up doing vikarma. And that will be sorry state.
Vikarma? What is Vikarma?
Yes, listen as I tell you about karma, akarma, and vikarma, and what you should be doing.
Yes, please.
Just like we have got in our institution specified duties for each and every member, and they are doing. And if they take it seriously, every one of them, and that is the order and duty. My Guru Maharaj has specified this duty upon me, so it is my duty. Karmyam. Karmyam means it is my duty. I must do it. So, Anashrita karma phalam karyam karma karoti. That is trained up according to Varnashram Dharma. That is trained up. A brahmachari from the very beginning of his life, he is trained to act only for Guru. That is brahmachari. It is stated in the Shastras, in the Bhagavad Gita, in the Srimad Bhagavatam, you will find the duties of brahmachari, the duties of grahastha, the duties of vanaprastha, the duties of sannyasa. Everything is there. So, brahmachari karma, grahastha karma, vanaprastha karma, sannyasa karma, then brahman karma, then kshatriya karma, vaishya karma, shudra karma. The society which knows perfectly well all these different karmas, that is perfect society. That is human society. That is very essential. The Varnashram Dharma, because we must have an aim of life. At the present moment, there is no aim of life. The aim of life is sense gratification. That's all. Indriya tripti. That is forbidden in the Shastras. Nunam pramatyo kurute vikarma. Kim karmeti, kim vikarmeti will be described. So, karma and vikarma, prescribed duties according to qualification, position, occupation, that is called karma. And just opposite, it is called vikarma. It is the tendency of the materialistic life to act with karma, forbidden karma. That is explained by Rushabdev in Srimad Bhagavatam. Nunam pramatye kurute vikarma yad indriya pritya apranoti. Nunam pramatye kurute vikarma. All people are being mad. They are committing all sinful activities. They do not know what is sinful activity. They think everything is alright. No. Nature will take account of everything and he will give you a next body. If you infect some disease and the after result you must suffer from that disease, that is nature's law. Therefore, we should be very careful to take instructions from Bhagavad Gita and make our life successful, following the rules and regulations as it is prescribed there. Otherwise, we are animals. Therefore, Shastras say that this human form of life is gotten after many, many births. Labdva sudurlabham. Sudurlabham. Durlabham means very rare to be obtained. And again, addition, su, very, very. So we should not waste our this human form of life whimsically. It is a great loss. It is a great loss. But people are not educated how much important this human form of life. Kaumara, from the very beginning of life, Kaumara. Kaumara means from 5th year to 10th year. 5th year. Within these 5 years, education must begin. And especially, Dharmam Bhagavatan. Bhagavat Dharma means to understand Krishna, to understand the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Although India is the land of spiritual culture, our small children, they go to schools and colleges, but he has no connection with Bhagavad Gita. He has no connection with Bhagavad Gita. They are simply being trained up for sense gratification. In the Western countries also for sense gratification, which is to be suppressed. Sense gratification, that education is given. They do not know what is karma, what is vikarma. Now, when the students become disobedient and they create riots and set fire in the buses, then they lament. But why you have educated the students like that? Who is responsible for this? The rascals, they do not know this. Here is Krishna prescribing, Kim karma, kim akarmeti, kavayopyatra mohitaha. Even learned men, they become bewildered. Tatya karma pravakshyami. So in this bewildered condition, baffled condition of society, we should consult Krishna. Krishna is ready to give you advice, as he was ready 5000 years ago to give advice to Arjuna. That instruction is still current. It is not that it is finished when Arjuna and Krishna know. You can take also the same advice from Krishna and mold your life. That is wanted. So kurute vikarma, you are trained up simply to act opposite direction. Instead of doing good work, you are educated to do bad work. Just the opposite. And that is not good. That is the advice of Rushabdev. Nunam pramatyo. What is that bad work? Bad work means sense gratification, that's all. Anything you do for satisfaction of your senses, that is bad work. And anything you do for satisfaction of Krishna, that is good work. This is the division of bad work and good work. The same thing, if you do for your personal satisfaction, it is bad work. And the same thing, if you do for satisfaction of Krishna, that is good work. We must first of all learn this. Just like Arjun was thinking in the beginning that fighting and killing is not good, especially fighting with the family members and killing them. No, no, I cannot do that. But work, bad work. He was not thinking it was bad, but same thing he did. When he understood Bhagavad Gita, he did not do anything else because he was a fighter, he was a warrior. In the beginning, he was refusing because he was trying to satisfy his senses. Oh, it is very good. I think it is. I think. What are you? You are always misguided if you think like that. But the same Arjun, when understood Bhagavad Gita, Krishna inquired from him, now what is your decision? Now karishye vachanam tava. Yes, now I have decided. So what is that vachanam tava? Krishna asked him to fight. So same fighting. How he became good now? Because Krishna wanted it. A good work. So this should be our motto of life. That you should act if Krishna is pleased. That is good work. That is confirmed in many places in Srimad Bhagavatam. Ata pumbir duja shreshta varnashrama vibhagshav. Again this varnashram. Swanishtitasya dharmasya, swanishtitasya dharmasya. Now mark this word, dharma. A Brahman's action as Brahman, that is dharma. And a Brahman is not fighting, that is his dharma. So dharma may be different according to position. Similarly, a Kshatriya is fighting and killing in the battle, but he is still not killing. That has to be not generalization. Oh, killing is bad. Killing is bad for one who is not destined, one who is not meant for killing. And places. Everything should be in terms of Shastra, not whimsically manufacture something. No. Yah Shastra vidimutrujyam vartate kamakaradhav nasasiddhim navapnoti nasukham na paramgatim. This is the injunction. So, atapumbir duja shreshta varnashrama vibhagasho. Everyone has got particular type of occupational duty according to Varna and Ashram. So, whether it is perfect or not, that test is Swanishtitasya dharmasya samsuddhir haritoshanam. Just like Arjun was a Kshatriya, his perfection of Kshatriya was because he pleased Krishna. Samsuddhir haritoshanam. That is wanted. So, this Krishna consciousness movement is presenting the most scientific way of life. It is not a whimsical concoction of a human brain. The basic principle is Bhagavad Gita and Shastra Srimad Bhagavatam.
Prabhuji, what is akarma? You told me about karma and vikarma, but what is akarma?
Yes, so karma means to gain some profit. Vikarma is punishable. Karma means you have to enjoy the result, the fruity result. That is karma. And vikarma means punishable, papa. And akarma means you do something, but you are neither punishable nor rewardable. And that is bhakti, or satisfying Krishna. There is no result. There is result. Ultimate result is go back to home, back. But the materially, if you expect some material profit by becoming a devotee, that is not possible. That is not possible. Mamchayo vicharena bhakti yogena sevate. Then you become above the resultant action of karma. So tyaktya karma. Sannyas means tyaktya karmanas tyaktya swajana bandhava. You cannot give up karma if you live with your relatives, swajana, bandhavas, society, friendship and love. If you live, you cannot give up karma. You have to do either karma or vikarma. But if you become sannyasi, then you become a karma. Whatever you do, it is for Krishna. And there is no reaction. Yajnarthe karmanonyatra karma bandhana. Bandhana means bondage. Karma is bandhana. Vikarma is bandhana, but akarma is not bandhana. So we have to act for Krishna.
So actually, when we say karma for a bhakta, it actually means akarma, right?
Yes, because he is supposed to be doing his karma for Krishna's satisfaction only. We have to do only what Krishna orders and also do it for him alone. Both are necessary. Does it make sense to you?
Yes, perfect sense. Yes, it means don't do things whimsically, which is not Krishna's order, and don't do it for anybody else apart from Krishna. Yes.